for a second, just close your eyes and think Middle East. You can open your eyes now. What are the first terms, words, ideas, and concepts that come to your mind when you think Middle East? Somebody said peace. All right. Exactly. If you're from the region, the name of your country, your favorite dish, maybe the first terms that you associate with Middle East. As a Middle Eastern artist, when I think Middle East, I think art. But according to a study, some of the terms that are mostly associated with our region are jihad, terror, conflict, warfare, oil, and Arabs. Middle East is propagated with conflict and warfare through the Western media. And art is a very removed notion to be associated with this region. This is in spite of one of the largest modern art collections and some of the most successful art fairs and biennials that are regularly organized, exhibited, and widely visited in this region. The art scene, its industry and market are rapidly growing here and contributing greatly to the growing development of the art and cultural platform is the diligence and tenacious efforts of its female population. When considering the art-related practices in relation to gender, it is particularly significant to review and credit the input of women in art in the recent decade, especially to highlight the important role women have come to play in shifting the collective and preconceived notions of Middle East. It is important to talk about women in art in a region that is also propagated to have a lesser participation than its male society. But let's begin with art. Let's begin with art and how the artistic expression offers a solution to change the perception of countries. Art offers opportunities to nations to interact regardless and in spite of the country's political relations. And ironically so, this cultural role is politically important in itself. It helps individuals and groups to separate themselves from political intolerances and the failings in governmental diplomatic intercourse. In fact, the role that the artistic exchange and expression factor in cultivating discourse against political prejudices and atmosphere should not be discounted. Through art, nations can indeed recognize their commonalities in intra-regional as well as international dialogues. It is therefore crucial that the relationship of art with positive representation of Middle East is not viewed with political bigotry, but rather as a means that has and will continue to dissolve the notions of war, terror, and gender inequality that are paired with our region. So far, there has been a mutual effort between Middle Eastern and Western artispheres. However, more Western audience needs to be exposed to this region's culture and art and vice versa, whilst endorsing the participation of the region's female population in shifting barriers and stereotypes. According to Massimiliano Gioni, the new museum curator and artistic director, a certain Western view assumes that women in Middle Eastern countries are oppressed and left out of any cultural debate, but instead women artists are doing great work. Here and elsewhere at the new museum was New York's first comprehensive survey of contemporary art from the Middle East and North Africa in 2014, where of the 45 plus artists on view, almost half were women. Echoing Gioni's statement the same year was Karine Adrian van Roek, the lead curator of the exhibition The View from Inside, also focusing on artists from the Arab world at 2014 PhotoFest Biennial. Van Roek says, the Western world has a tendency to take their values as a benchmark for judging other cultures. There is the widespread idea that women in the Arab world are all oppressed, with no opportunity for self-expression, to hold public positions or have social status, and that's not true. I have met so many powerful Arab women artists over the years, especially in the Gulf region. And according to our very own UAE's Sheikh Sultan Al Qasimi, who is the president of the Sharjah Art Foundation and also the director of the Sharjah Biennial, women are in some of the most visible and power roles within the art world, perhaps surprisingly so, given the Western stereotypes. So, following are only few examples to further highlight the role of women in contemporary art in the region, starting with Sheikh Ahura bint Sultan Al Qasimi, who's, as I mentioned, president of the Sharjah Art Foundation, director of the Sharjah Biennial, board member of MoMA, and also curated the UAE's pavilion at the 2015 Venice Biennale. She's also part of the curatorial selection committee at the 2012 Berlin Biennale. There is Abir Bukhari. So the first independent collective art center for visual arts, multimedia, and contemporary arts in Syria, called All Art Now, is established by two sisters, Abir and Nasrin Bukhari. All Art Now also produced the first contemporary art festival in Damascus. Abir Bukhari examines the resistant power of art for her country, and particularly its women, through numerous exhibitions and workshops she has curated and organized. And although All Art Now had to close its door in July 2012 to open it to Syrian refugee families, it continues to function in different places around the world as a nomadic space. Qatar's Sheikha Al-Mayasa topped the Art Review Power 100 in 2013. The Art Review Power 100 is an annual ranking list of dealers, art dealers of course, collectors, curators, and artists in relation and comparison of their influence and the current ecosystem of the contemporary art world. Her Excellency was named the most powerful person in art in 2013, following an estimated £600 million a year, spent a year with her family over 8 years on artworks that now adorn the Qatar museums. She's also the chairperson of Qatar Museums. Kuwait. Kuwait is another exemplary scene to emphasize the remarkable involvement of women in this context. Kuwait's artistic expression has long been shaped by women, dating back to at least 1969, when Natash Sultan and her brother established Sultan Gallery, the gallery that advocated contemporary and secular movements in Arab art. Farida Sultan, she's the younger sister of the founders, and she has been the director of the gallery since 2006, establishing dialogue among artists and institutions regionally as well as internationally. Also in Kuwait, Sheikha Hassa al-Sabah established Dar al-Athar al-Islamiyya in 1983 and Dar al-Funun Gallery for Contemporary Art in 1992. And moreover, many of the most renowned artists, as well as gallery owners and collectors, are women in Kuwait, making the art scene predominantly empowered by the country's female society. Folya Erdemaci, curator of the 2013 Istanbul Biennial, has a decade-long involvement in Turkish art culture and is one of the key players in Turkish contemporary art. She also curated the 2011 Pavilion of Turkey at the 54th International Art Exhibition at Venice Biennale. The artist specialist, the Tunisian-born Lina Lazar Jamil, grew up in Saudi and Switzerland. Jamil's role at Sotheby's International as an artist specialist means that she brings the attention of the international art world to the Middle East contemporary art world. In addition, to the contemporary art world of Middle East. In addition to establishing Ebraz, which is a platform of discourse for visual culture of the region, and contributing to the establishment of Jeddah Art Week, which promotes the kingdom's art scene, Jamil also curated Venice Biennale's first Pan-Arab exhibition of contemporary art. And here's an interesting fact that the female Saudi artists have gained international acclaim over the past decade, more international acclaim over the past decade than any other period in the country's history of art. From Iran, Mojgan Enjavi has been an ambassador of Iranian contemporary art for years. She has established numerous projects, including Ila and Persian Garden of Geneva project and Enjavi Barber art projects, that promote Iranian culture in all its aspects and build bridges between the country and the West. Also in Iran, another very interesting fact that I'm very personally proud of is that the ratio of women to men artist students have varied from 2:1 to 4:1 over the years, making the contemporary art scene of emerging artists dominated by women. Sheikh May has served as the Minister of Culture of Bahrain since 2002, and also Bahrain's two main art galleries are established and directed by women. Bayan al-Barak Kanu founded Al-Riwaq, and Haifa al-Jishi established Al-Bara'a Art Gallery, both in 1998. So these are many more influential and inspiring Middle Eastern female artists, the artists on rise, the women who direct and curate and contribute to the evolving cultural landscape of the region. These women continue to power our region culturally on a global stage. Through art, they communicate our values, our history and courage, our heritage. They collectively reform negative connotations of the region. They create platforms for critical thinking and encourage dialogue. They serve as a bedrock for change, not only in their time, but for generations to come. And I would like to end this talk by quoting Sheikha Al-Mayasa. She says, "We are revising ourselves through our cultural institutions and cultural development, and in doing so, art becomes a very important part of our national identity." Thank you.